All right, so here we are in downtown Los Angeles. Now here on Across the Bar, we look at where the epicenters of change are happening. In downtown LA, the culinary scene is teeming. And the idea behind Across the Bar is to find some of the best in the business. And we're gonna do that with a bartender named Gabby at Birch, where she joins culinary and cocktails to a perfect match. Join us on this episode of Across the Bar. All right, so here we are at the Birch with Gabby, the head bartender and beverage director. Thanks so much for letting us stop in, Gabby.
Thanks for coming in.
First, what you guys are doing and connecting from a culinary aspect into your beverage program. So we're gonna jump into that. But before we get started, tell me a little bit about your backstory.
Like 30 years ago, when I was in college, I was in art college and I couldn't make ends meet and I needed something to supplement my income.
I like
and
that.
Bartending.
Desperation breeds passion.
Desperation. I was in fashion school, so it was really important for us to have like the trendiest and the newest, and instead I was always like hitting the flea markets and the kind of junk shops. So I didn't need to make a lot of money, but I definitely needed to have an allowance for clothing.
Yeah.
So bartending was something that I just fell into really naturally.
You are really going an angle that few bartenders are going, and that is to really attack it from a culinary and both savory aspect, more chef forward almost. Was there anything that in your career or in your background that kind of helped that connect the dot for you?
About 15, 20 years ago, I studied pastry. I wanted to be back of house, creating beautiful desserts. Couldn't make a lot of money doing it, so then I migrated back into the front of the house. And it didn't immediately come together, but once I started working with some amazing chefs, like Chef Brendan at Birch, and I started to pick up some techniques and ideas from them and just started putting it together with my beverages.
Let's break down one of the ones you're going to show us first. What are we going to look at?
So the first one I'm going to make is a variation on Negronis. It's a great aperitif drink because it's quite light.
Let's get to it.
Okay. So this is the number 3 on the drink menu. So it's gin, Gran Classico, which is the bitter, and then a sweet white vermouth from a company up in Seattle. And that gets infused with beets and shiso. And this one in particular is golden beets.
So what were you trying to achieve when you were designing this cocktail?
I started out making a beet Pimm's. I wanted to make a Pimm's that was going to be better for the cooler months. Rhubarb was going out of season. I was in the farmer's market and seeing a lot of root vegetables, so I decided to do an infusion with beets, trying to make a Pimm's that was a bit more on the wintry side. So I've got the beet and shiso Negroni.
Interesting. So it gives it kind of a new color.
Yeah, and then it gets finished off with a red beet Pimm's, which is exactly the same thing, except it doesn't have the bitters in it.
Okay.
So this just kind of gets dribbled on the top, and it just kind of hangs out. And then it gets garnished with a little carrot flour.
And some disco dust.
And some disco dust, which is just edible.
All right. And what did we get there on that last little?
That's a shiso essence.
Well, it definitely blends a lot of things. You get kind of the aroma going, the taste.
Yeah. So the drink changes as it goes further down the glass.
It's beautiful too. I love this drink. Great color. How popular is this one?
It depends on the day. Sometimes you'll get one cocktail that will trend the entire night, and sometimes you won't sell it for days.
Interesting. All right, so what do we have lined up for our second drink?
So taking a classic Mai Tai recipe, and then using ingredients that you would find in a Thai coconut soup to make that Mai Tai.
I like it. Let's get to it.
Yeah. So this is a variation on a Mai Tai, a classic kind of TKS drink, super simple.
Yeah.
But I took the elements out of it. Traditionally, it's an almond orgeat. I made a coconut butter orgeat. The drink itself, the flavors are inspired by Thai coconut soup. So usually Thai coconut soup has broccoli in it. So we've got Chinese flowering broccoli as the garnish.
Great.
With the traditional mint sprig, which always comes in a Mai Tai.
So just the pure Mai Tai,
Yeah.
spin off that,
Yeah.
off you.
It's pretty much all the ingredients you get in a Mai Tai.
Okay. Wow, that's really tasty. Yeah.
We sell a lot of this one.
A drink like this, again, tough to make, to just come up with. So what was kind of the inspiration for it?
So I'd made before a Mai Tai that was made with brown rice orgeat. An orgeat is like a nut milk that has orange flower water and simple syrup added to it. And it was a little bit too wintry. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more aromatic. So I wanted something that was a little bit more approachable.
Beautiful. This is a great drink.
So Thai coconut soup. The third drink is inspired by a scaffa, which is a drink that is similar in temperature to like a brandy at the end of the meal. It's the same principle. It's a drink that's stirred, and the heat from your hand is actually what helps bring out all the
Interesting.
nuances of the flavor.
What do we call this drink?
None of my drinks have names. It's based on a scaffa, which is an old school after dinner drink.
Okay. I like it.
This is a 004 on our menu.
Good. I gotta taste this. Oh, that's a great one.
And then
I love
if you
that.
want, you can eat this after.
Just nibble right in. I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt this drink. All right, why Irish whiskey?
It's a little bit mellower, a little bit sweeter.
Perfect. What's our portion on Drambuie?
3/4.
Okay. So with Drambuie, what are you trying to bring out in the drink?
I like its spice profile.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you've got a 1/4 ounce of the allspice dram.
Okay, 1/4 ounce.
And you need a 1/2 ounce of the honey.
Okay.
Well, you missed your
bitters.
bitters. So you've got 3 dashes.
Three
You
nice
need
dashes.
nice hard dashes. Perfect. And then give it a nice swish.
I like that.
Perfect.
What was it that brought this idea into the drink?
The frankincense?
frankincense, yeah.
Frankincense is used as a purifier a lot. It's kind of like a really nice ceremony. And it's also super aromatic.
All right, go.
There you go.
All right, so just
Right
get
on
this
top.
torched.
Get your glass. Let's turn this off. Yeah. So you would present these two together at the table.
All right, Gabby, so here I've done it. I've made your newest drink on your menu, so you gotta give it a taste. Tell me how close it is. First time. I like the ingredients. It was an easy mix.
Smells delicious.
It does. I like it. But is it the right portion?
It's perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
nice job.
It has been great coming here to the Birch, learning a little bit
coming.
about what you guys are doing. Thanks
Yeah.
for letting us stop in.
Thank you.